Hello again everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the very latest updates to the Salty Simulations Boeing 747-8 in Microsoft Flight Simulator. There's been some significant updates over the last couple of weeks from the team for this freeware project, and it's finally in a position where I could give it my little VATSIM seal of approval and tell you guys that actually now we can really enjoy this aircraft in VATSIM. It's got the ability to perform direct twos in multiple circumstances quite reliably now. It's got a brilliant flight plan manager inside of it, and the ability as well to fly automated holds, which again is a really great feature from the Salty Simulations team that they've spent a long time working on. Make sure you hit like and subscribe while you're here, and of course as always let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you fancy getting your hands on this awesome livery, the channel livery for the Boeing 747, amongst all our other aircraft as well for our Osprey fleet, then head to our Discord server and you guys will find the links there, of course. Without further ado though, let's get started. We've got quite a lot to discuss, and I'm going to demonstrate throughout the video as well quite a few of the latest features, including direct twos and including automated holds too. So I hope you enjoyed the video. So it's been a little while since I've been inside the flight deck of the 747-8 in the sim. Quite a long time. I think the last time I flew this was back in January with a little VATSIM flight transatlantic from JFK to Heathrow. We were really lucky not to have any direct twos, otherwise we'd have had some significant issues, and it was still very raw. But there's been quite a bit of nice progress. Sadly that's still an issue, but I know that's they've said that that's more of a problem with the Sobo that they're hoping to fix, but some of the decals aren't actually correctly aligned, sadly. And still a fair bit in the overhead panel not really working too well, but the meat of this is new fonts, new PFD, textures, FMC has all been sort of modelled as well. So yeah, we can see the usual salty options here with IRS. We've currently got left, centre and right 5 minutes time to align, but we can force that in here if we want to, so we can instant align it. Return to options, we've got our usual SimBrief integration there, which is lovely, and we've got our METARS and TAF source, our ATIS source there too. Units, we can flick that between kg and pounds depending on what you prefer. Really like that. And of course MISC options for pilot visibility, because that's been a thing for a little while. You can have old Dave sat next to you there. Not quite sure how I feel about those though. I prefer them off. Airline policy is a good one. You know, we can add 1,500 for an extra safety margin on takeoff, for example. There we go. We can change sensor options as well. We can have a little look through these. Really nice little additions here. Little extra little bits of working here. Check airline policy for crossload. Nice little error messages. Pop-up memos. While the IRS is aligning, of course. One of the new features is holds, and I'm going to have a little look at that on a very short flight. We're here at Manchester Airport, of course, Mackie Simulations Manchester. We're going to head out of Manchester down to London Heathrow, and we're going to hold at Honolulu on the way down. So standard little route up to flight level 190 on the way, but I'm going to specifically try and test out the hold function. I'll show you guys in a very short while how all that seems to work. So good old SimBrief integration, request send, load, there we go. Osprey 165, the channel call sign of course, not in database. It's the usual Asobo issue with Heathrow Airport, of course. Let's get that out of the way. So sometimes you've got to put it in twice. It's a little frustrating, but you know, it works nicely. Elsewhere, of course, and then we can just request it again. There we go. On the next page then you can see out to Samba, Honolulu, and that's it, that's our route. So we're going to depart runway 23 right, Samba 1 Romeo departure. Execute that. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to configure everything as I need to do so for our flight today. So this has got the new flight plan manager on board, amongst other things, and it actually seems quite nice so far. Some of the stars are a little bit boxy like this one, but actually I quite like it. While this is doing its thing, I'm going to show you guys Navigraph, because as I mentioned at the beginning of the video today, we're going to hit flight level 190, but we're actually going to try and hold at Honolulu. Currently, as I record this, it's in the development version. I'll put the link in the description. But it's also actually a release candidate for the new stable version, which is coming very soon. So really great progress by the Salty Simulations team. It's been a very long time coming, it seems. But you know, a very welcome update for us all to enjoy. And certainly, as I mentioned before, it makes it something that allows us to work nicely on VATSIM. So we can enjoy VATSIM with this great little aeroplane now. Nice to be able to fly the Queen of the Skies. So, Honolulu 11365, we've tuned the VOR into that NavRad page. And you can see there that it's just south of Birmingham, it's just west of Coventry, and we're going to be flying into Honolulu for that little hold, as you can see on the charts. So inbound on a track of 144 degrees, we're then going to take a right turn, max 240 knots, minimum altitude of 150, max of flight level 350, and then we're going to have an outbound radial of 324 degrees for that outbound leg. Fly for a minute, turn back and fly back towards the Honolulu VOR. And we're going to do a couple of cycles of that, and we're just going to see how the aeroplane manages it. We're going to get there quite quickly as well, so certainly something for us to start to program nice and quick. Right, so into the RadNav, or into the MCDU. By the way, you can jettison fuel now on this as well. It's been one of the little features for a little while, and you can see there we've put VOR left and right. VOR left is Honolulu, VOR right is actually Bovingdon. And at Westcott NDB, which there is another hold at Westcott, and that's 335 on the ADF. So we want to go in and put a hold in, because it's super busy on VATSIM, and they've told us to hold. So there's our legs page. Go into the hold at, and then we're going to select Honolulu. Add that into the bottom there. And if we zoom out, there we go, we can start to see it being added in. So there's no data for us, but if we then click into hold again, we've asked it to hold at Honolulu, we click hold button again. Now what it's doing is it's asking us for data. So from Honolulu, now we've pressed the hold button, we can see that the speed, max speed, is 240 knots on the charts. We're being asked to target 230 knots, which is good. Inbound course of 153 with a right turn. Well, actually we want that to be 144 with a right turn. So 144/R. There we go, and you can see we've just skewed that ever so slightly. And leg time of 1 minute. And a leg distance of 6.4 nautical miles. If we wish to change the leg time, we can. We can put, for example, if we want a 30-second leg, we can do 0.5, and you can see that becomes more of an orbit than anything else. Or we can add 1 minute in, like so. If we want to specify a leg distance, say for example the leg distance was 10 nautical miles, we can just type in here 10 nautical miles and you can see it gets amended there as well, like that. And it's telling us our best hold speed, 231. But we're going to go for a 1 minute hold and execute. So that's now entered like so. And it's in magenta, which means it's active. We're in a Boeing, of course, so we make sure we recycle the relevant speeds. And now we know that we're going to be entering holds with a max of 240 knots. The MCDU, the FMS has actually advised us our best speed is 231 knots there, as you can see. There's our altitude capture. Should be on standard pressure, to be fair. We can click in the middle so we can go onto speed mode, and we can ask it in a second to select 230 knots. Very much a welcome change. What we're going to do is we're going to fly one or two of those holding patterns just so I can demonstrate to you guys how great this is and how it works, with a little bit of an explanation like we've just done. Then we're going to exit the hold, so I'm going to show you how to exit the hold, and instead of flying the rest of the star, we're going to go direct to Bovingdon, and we're going to see how the direct twos work within the star, because that was one of the major issues with the Salty Sim mod prior to this dev update, and I want to see how well it's been fixed. If this works, it's certainly going to have my little seal of approval for being VATSIM ready, so I hope you guys are excited for that. 26 miles to Honolulu, we're going to get there really quick at 330 knots. Max speed of 240 knots in the turn, so click. And we're going to start to reduce our speed down to 231 knots like it's asked us for best speed. So any second now we're going to be entering the hold, and I've offset so it matches the charts precisely. It'd be interesting to see how it does this, because some aircraft can get a little confused and it can start flying a bit of a skew if hold, because I've amended the holding pattern to something that it didn't want to do. You can see, as I was mentioning before, we might, depending on speeds and things on a previous tutorial, we might need to use flaps, and 230 is right up at our clean speed, so we're just okay there. And our speeds come down nicely just before we hit about 10 miles from that DME. So ATC on VATSIM have told us to expect to hold at Honolulu. We're configuring for that now. We're just holding at flight level 190, which is the maximum cruise altitude for a flight from Manchester down to Heathrow. There we go. If we wanted to add a hold at Bovingdon, we can go next hold at, we could do Westcott as well, we could do hold at Bovingdon. In it goes for hold number 2. Look, there's a second one, so we're going to let the aeroplane do its thing and fly this hold at Honolulu, but we can go hold at Bovingdon, and according to the charts we want a inbound radial of 116. That says 117 with a right turn. That's pretty much bang on. I'll leave that as it is. And again, a 1 minute leg with a right turn. So that's all good. Execute. And now we've got 2 holds, look. Lovely. Now we've got 2 pages. So previous page, and now we can keep an eye on this Honolulu hold that we're just about to hit, look, in 7 miles. The only thing here is a little bit plump. So hold. Except for quickly refresh now that we're at our correct speed. So we've put in a request for 1 minute leg times again, and it's quickly shrunk that down, so actually it looks more so like what the charts expects, and then we've re-executed that. Make sure for holds you've got bank limit on either auto or you've got it on max of 25. because you're going to want to turn sharp. If you've got an aircraft with a chrono, then I'd advise starting the clock as the wings go level for that next leg. So, any second, we should be now indicating into a right turn, and that hold should become active. There we go. And as you can see on the FMS, we've now also got exit hold as an option, which has sprung up. So like I've shown in hold tutorials before, exit hold, we just got to click that and the aeroplane will be instructed to leave the hold at the relevant time. This is fantastic, it really is very good. And you can see we're turning at 30 degrees angular bank. I've left it on max bank. So again, that's an important thing. If we're told to step down by ATC, so we're on a right turn, we're in the hold, and it will now be Osprey 165 heavy, descend in the hold, flight level 170. So we can set that, and we can set that as required. Give it a little push for intervention. We go into VNAV speed mode, and the aeroplane's going to descend itself, there's the banana, down to flight level 170, whilst also flying the hold. So we're throwing a lot at it. Down we go. And we could literally just stay flying this for absolutely ages. Now, here's the question. What if we're in the hold and we're now told to exit the hold at Honolulu and go direct Bovingdon? Well, we're going to also have to descend to 7,000 feet. So as we're descending, let's do that bit first. 7,000. We can ask it to exit the hold. There we go. Now we're going to continue back to Honolulu. We're going to continue the right turn. Look, we're going to exit this hold, and we're going to go direct to Bovingdon. So, legs, Bovingdon, right to the top, execute. And you can see now the flight plan manager has said, right, we're going direct to Bovingdon. But we also now need to hold at Bovingdon because that's what we've set up before. And then we've got the rest of our route for the arrival into London Heathrow, runway 27 right. So again, we just go through our usual pattern of stuff. Max speed of 220 at Bovingdon, so we need to think about that next as well. PFD, we're going to need flaps 1. Now what if we want to not only amend this but actually delete it? So how do you actually do it? Go to legs, make sure you've got delete selected. There's the hold at Bovingdon. We can just hit delete there. Delete the double Bovingdon. Execute. There you go. So we've just done a lot of stuff inside the FMS. Automated holds, entering and exiting the holds, descending in the holds, a direct to having exited the hold as well. We've then also set up a second hold point at Bovingdon, and then due to the direct to and for example a hold cancellation, we've then cleared that hold as well. So loads to get our teeth into. But how wonderful, Salty Simulations mod. We can now really enjoy this on VATSIM, which is a fantastic achievement from the Salty Simulations team. So thanks to those guys for all of the work they've been doing over the last couple of months. It's been a really long time coming, as I mentioned before, for direct twos and a working flight plan manager as well, of course, from the project. and now we can enjoy the Queen of the Skies. So be sure to hit like and subscribe down below if you've not done so already. Check out all my other video tutorials, check out my live stream schedule, and of course, as always, let me know what you think in the comments below. If you want to get your hands on the Salty Sim mod, then check out the description of the video down below, and the latest dev version link will be there for you guys to enjoy. In the meantime though, as always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you come and say hello when we're live next. In the meantime, take care.